So I was remembering this week when I was a child and into my teen years that on occasion, but only a very rare occasion, I would speak to my mother in a tone that she really didn't appreciate very much. I'm sure those of you who are parents never experienced that from your teenagers. Some smart aleck remark I would make, or some back talk, that I would not appreciate her trying to boss me around. And she would say to me, "Young man, you better watch your mouth." And I knew what that meant. Those of you who are my age or younger, and maybe even now, I don't know, maybe have experienced what might be considered today physical abuse. I don't know. Like a slap across the mouth or whatever that happened to be. And so I did learn a lesson from that. And the lesson that I want to talk about today is about the power of our words, what we speak, and how important it is to really watch our mouths. Again, I'm not suggesting that we are going to be punished, but it's important the energy of the words we speak are important for us to be aware of. And I want to share with you, too, that if memory serves me, this may be the first talk I have ever given on the power of the spoken word, which, when looking back, surprises me a little bit. In a way, because it is such a powerful lesson. And I also recognize that I probably haven't given a talk on the power of the spoken word because I never really got it. I'm not claiming that I totally have it now, but I think that I have awakened a little bit more to the power of the word. And so I want to talk about that today. And I want to talk about that because it does affect every aspect of our life experience. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about prosperity. Prosperity is a consciousness. Prosperity is not so much about the manifested realm, but is about consciousness that we can experience in the manifested realm. But prosperity is a consciousness of wholeness, of health, of wealth, of the flow of that divine life in us and through us and as us, and how we allow that to come through us is what determines what we demonstrate in the physical. And so I want to give a little background about what I want to talk about around the spoken word, because I think it's important. One of Unity's 5 basic principles. For those of you who may be new to Unity, there are 5 basic principles that Unity teaches. There's one God, we're expressions of that God, we create our reality, prayer connects us with God, and that knowing all that stuff is not enough, we have to do something with it. In a nutshell, that's what we teach. Well, the third principle says, and this came from unity.org website, we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Now, if that were written by someone today, it might also include our way of feeling, because much has been taught recently about the power of our emotion, the power of our thinking, the power of our emotion to create our reality. How many of you are students of the law of attraction? And maybe some of you are students of Abraham or followers of Abraham, an entity that is channeled through Esther Hicks, where they talk a lot about the law of attraction. If you read The Secret, if you read any of those kinds of books or studied any of that, you know about the law of attraction. And what the law of attraction basically says is that we attract into our experience according to what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And there's a lot been taught recently about the power of our feeling nature and what that really expresses. And so, why, though? Why is that important to realize and to recognize? And the reason it's so important is because every aspect, as I said earlier, of our lives is affected by it. Unity is part of what is known as the New Thought movement. And the New Thought movement began in the late 1800s, really based on the idea of that we can cure our bodies or heal our bodies through the power of our minds, through our thinking. They realized that through experiment, through things that were going on, that the way somebody thought, if they believed they were healed, if they came into alignment with that God nature, then they would experience healing and wholeness. And so the New Thought movement grew out of that. And then it began to expand into other areas that not only does it affect your physical health, it affects your financial health, it affects your relationships, it affects all aspects of our lives. And so this idea that we create our life experience is all part of this idea, this consciousness that we're a part of. But then again, why? Why does it work? They had no way of knowing scientifically back in the late 1800s why it worked. They just figured it worked. They believed that it worked because they witnessed it working. Well, scientific experiments today are showing why it works. And the basis of that is that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Our bodies are energy. Our bodies are a field of energy. And when we think and when we feel, when things go on in this field of energy, everything is affected. Nothing happens in isolation. When we think, thoughts are energy. Thoughts are energy waves. Feelings are energy waves that affect the energy field of the body. And so when we think certain things, our body reacts. Now, science shows that it affects different chemicals in our bodies. Our thinking turns on certain genes in our bodies. If you want to know more about that and learn more about the science of that, I highly recommend Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo. If you haven't read it, read it. He outlines many scientific experiments that show that we do have the power to heal our bodies. And he tells us why and what to do about that. So I highly recommend that. So everything is energy, and everything is affected by energy. Everything responds to our thinking, to our feeling, to our way of being. And when we have this energy field going on, and many of you are familiar with this as well, our physical body is energy, but our energy field extends way beyond the physical body. That when we are thinking, those thought waves go out into this energy field, and then it begins to attract like energy. That is what we teach. Like attracts like. When there are things that we're resonating with out in the universe, then we attract ourselves to that, and it attracts us to it. Well, okay, that's the background for what I want to talk about around the power of the spoken word. Why is the spoken word so important? I think what I'm getting in touch with is that the spoken word is a vibration that actually goes out into that creative medium of the universe and has more power, at least equal power, if not more power, than the thoughts and the feelings. Because thought and feeling, we can sort of have an effect of, but notice when you speak a word, you feel the vibration of the word. You feel it in your body. You resonate with it in your head. You feel it in your body. You feel the energy of a word or the spoken word. And my idea is that when it goes out, and also notice that the throat is the power center. In the 12 powers of man, which Charles Fillmore talks about and teaches about, also one of the primary teachings of the Unity movement, that the throat is the power center. It is that power center, and when we speak a word into the creative medium, then the creative medium responds to that. And so have you noticed the words that are coming out of your mouth? That's why it is so important for us to watch our mouths, to be very deliberate about the words that we're speaking into the creative medium. That's why it is so important for us to speak words that are imbued with the vibrational frequency of truth, of God, of love, of all the ideas of God that we can possibly imagine. Because we experience inevitably the effect of our words. Now, the good news about that is, this came to me this week as well. The good news is that the words spoken with the energy of love have infinitely more power than the words spoken from the energy of fear. Do you believe that? Love is the creative power in the universe. And so don't be too afraid that you're going to experience the effect of your fearful words. But it is important to recognize that we do experience them and to know how powerful we are. That you and I, as it says in the Scripture, are created in the image likeness of the Creator, imbued with the power of creation, of creation. That in that creation story in the Bible, when that creative idea said, "Let there be," there was. And when you and I, from the consciousness of love and faith and power and strength, speak the word that says, "Let there be," then there will be. Then there will be. But it has to be a word spoken from the consciousness of belief, of faith, of love, of strength, of power, of that energy that God is in and through us. What do you want to manifest in your life? What do you want to experience in your life? Talk about that. Speak about that. Feel the energy of that radiating in and through our physical bodies. I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. I want us to use this affirmation. Again, I want to go back to the 12 powers for a minute. And our bodies, and the energy of our bodies. Charles Fillmore, in talking about the 12 powers, said that the power of faith is located in the center of our head here. The power of faith, which is our power to know, our power to know and to see, that is the conviction of the things that are hoped for and the evidence of the things not seen, as Paul said. And so we exercise our power of faith first, right here in the center. And it takes words spoken from power. What I want to say is it takes our entire physical presence. And I really want us to get this today because it's powerful. It is a powerful teaching, and it is empowering to all of us. When we ignite that power of faith, we ignite the power in our throat, which is the power center. We ignite the center in our hearts, which is the love center. We ignite that power of strength, which is there in the small of our back. When we ignite the life center, which is at the root chakra, the base of the spine. Do you see how it involves the whole body? Do you see how when you take a breath, you have to have breath to speak the word? You have to have the inspiration of spirit through the breath to speak the word, first of all. And when you ignite the power of faith, when you ignite the power of power, when you ignite the power of love and strength and life, you are involving the whole energy field of the body. And when you use the whole energy field of the body to speak that word into the creative medium, then the creative medium has no other option but to respond to that. Make sense? And so I invite us now, I want us to use this affirmation. I've already got it up there. I am the living embodiment of God's abundance in every aspect of my life. I'm going to invite you to stand if you're willing and able to do that. If not, you can stay seated. And I get it. I know when I was a kid, I did kind of learn that kids are supposed to be seen and not heard, that kind of idea. You're just supposed to be quiet. Oh, be quiet, you're being too loud. I'm going to encourage you to be loud, to let go of the idea that you need to be quiet. I'm going to invite you to let go of the idea that other people are going to think you're a fool. I'm going to invite you to let go of any of those limiting ideas because I want you to feel today the power of the energy of your word being spoken into the creative medium, okay? If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm just inviting you to do it. So, first of all, let's go to the inside of our head and really feel that energy of faith being ignited there. Now, I'm going to say this is a true statement. Whether you are witnessing the effect of it right now in your life or not, to exercise your power of faith to know that this is a truth. I am the living embodiment of God's abundance in every aspect of my life. And then ignite the power of your throat because we're going to speak it aloud. Moving down into the power in your heart, the power of love, the love that is the attracting, harmonizing power. Breathe into that power of strength at the space of your back, the small of your back, which is that energy that is green. And then down into the base of your spine. It's that energy of life, which is red energy, right? And so feel that. Breathe in. Feel the energy in your head. Feel the energy in your throat. Feel the energy in your heart. Feel the energy in the small of your back. And then feel that life energy rising up from the base of your spine to infuse all of your word with a life energy as it projects out into the creative medium. All right. So now feel it breathe. And let us say as loud and as strong and as with much conviction as you possibly can, let's say this aloud. I am the living embodiment of God's abundance in every aspect of my life. Dang, you're good. Dang, you are good. Now, did anything come up that said, oh, no, you're not? Because sometimes it will. Love that. Love that. Love it. And then let's say it again, one more time, with great conviction, because you are putting out into the creative medium what is going to come back to you multiplied. So once again, exercise the power of faith, knowing without a shadow of a doubt this is true, breathing into your throat, exercising and inviting that power of love in your heart, that power of strength in your back, igniting that power of life in the base of your spine, and just feel it for a moment. Feel your entire energy field ignited with the power of the divine. Breathe deeply and speak aloud together. I am the living embodiment of God's abundance in every aspect of my life, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Now you're worn out. That's why you need to practice. It is really like going to the gym. Exercising, I probably shouldn't use that analogy. It is like building any muscle, any consciousness. It takes our practice and it takes our commitment. And so I would invite you to come up with your own statement of truth. If there's something in your life, whether it's finances, relationships, whether it's a job, whether it's whatever shows up in your life, health, create a statement of truth that really resonates with you. Beginning with I am in the present tense. I am now the living embodiment of God's abundance, abundant health, abundant wealth, abundant relationships, abundant love, abundant light, abundant energy. All of that, I am that. Claim it. Create a time in your day when you can go out somewhere and say it out loud. Do it in the shower. Just let people in your household know you're going to be doing it. Because they may think you're crazy. But give them fair warning. But please, I invite and encourage you to do it. To begin to claim through the power of your word who and what you truly are and what you are choosing to create and to demonstrate in your life. Because you have the power. You are created in the image, likeness of the creative life force energy that created you. The power of creation in this dimension. You do. You are. You be.